Okay, turn to Galatians chapter 6. We want to read verses 1 to 9. I don't think you'll learn anything new today. This morning you'll just be encouraged, hopefully. Galatians 6, 1 to 9. Brethren, if a man be overtaken in a fault, ye which are spiritual, restore such an one in the spirit of meekness, considering thyself, lest thou also be tempted. Bear ye one another's burdens, and so fulfill the law of Christ. For if a man think himself to be something when he is nothing, he deceiveth himself. But let every man prove his own work, and then shall he have rejoicing in himself alone, and not in another. For every man shall bear his own burden. Let him that is taught in the word communicate unto him that teacheth in all good things. Be not deceived, God is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. For he that soweth to his flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption. But he that soweth to the Spirit shall of the Spirit reap life everlasting. And let us not be weary in well-doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not. Let's pray. Our Father in heaven, thank you that we can come humbly before your word, Lord. May the Holy Spirit speak through me. May we be not speaking myself, Lord, and may each person here be encouraged and challenged from God's word. We ask in Jesus' precious name. Amen. I've already mentioned the title of today's message is Do Not Grow Weary in Well-Doing, or Do Not Grow Weary. As you notice, it was read in the first passage of Scripture. The phrase appears twice in that sense. Obviously the idea appears elsewhere. The phrase appears twice in Scripture in Galatians 6, 9 we just read, and as Peter very nicely read in 2 Thessalonians 3:13. So I suppose the opposite of well-doing would be ill-doing or wicked doing, also doing nothing at all would fall under the same banner of not well-doing. The phrase pictures someone enduring through life, obeying the precepts of Scripture despite whatever he or she perceives to be happening or not happening around them. It can mean both simple day-to-day tasks or perhaps what we would characterise as ministry work. But I think the reality is that they're all one and the same in God's eyes. All pastors and missionaries, all the things you sort of think of, the spiritual things in this life. There's lots of people around them doing what we class as the simple day-to-day tasks which enable them to do what they do. Many years once there's only, who do you remember Jeffrey Kershaw Centres only? Well, this church used to meet in a different place many years ago. I'll see if we had a missionary from, I think, South America, preaching to the children. And he was only a young chap. He had a list of, he got all the kids to come up to and hold up something that they, mundane, that enabled him to get on the mission field. All these jobs, like there was the pilots and people who provide the food, all those sort of things. So all those jobs are very important, equally important in God's eyes. Do you remember that message, anybody? Both? No? It was a good message. We had a list of about 20 things. Really good. Anyway, I remember it. And in 1 Corinthians 10:31 it says, you all know this, it says, whether therefore ye eat or drink or whatsoever ye do all to the glory of God. So whether you're being super spiritual like me and doing the message, or just do, I mean, I didn't iron the shirt myself. So all these things all add up. So because we have a tendency to think that God is only interested in the spiritual things we do, but it's definitely not the case. And when little Samuel was born, his mother was called Hannah, and once that child was born, her primary God-given job was bringing that child up, weaning him, in a sense what we would class as the simple jobs of life. This is very hypothetical situation. A hypothetical situation may be a devout mother and who's also a wife spending all day cleaning the house, washing and ironing clothes, preparing meals. The kids come in, jumping on the sofa, dirty shoes on the floor, picking up their food. Husband comes in, kicks his shoes off in the hall, dumps his suit on the floor and complains about his tea, and is irate that the remote control is knocked down the side of the sofa where I left it last night. It's not based on my life because I don't wear a suit for work, so I made sure of that. But that's, you get the idea. It's the simple, mundane things we have to continue doing. And why should we not grow weary? Because we shall reap if we faint not. Galatians 6:8, as we read, says, we shall reap life everlasting. But we still reap in this life. If you honour your parents, you should live a longer life. If you train up your child, they shall not depart, and the list is endless of what you can reap in this life. And we reap what we sow. We'll read it again, but Galatians 6, 7 and 8 says, be not deceived, God is not mocked, for whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. You may be better line it or what's for he that soweth to his flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption, but he that soweth to the Spirit shall of the Spirit reap life everlasting. And even the unsaved world, they understand that principle. And 1 Corinthians 15:58 says, this is a pastor quoted this verse on Thursday night, if anyone remembers. You don't remember? 1 Corinthians 15:58, he said, therefore, my beloved brethren, be ye steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, for as much as you know that your labour is not in vain in the Lord. When I Googled the word for abounding on my Bible software, it said abounding means superabounding. So it makes it sound a bit more, superabounding in the Lord's word. You may not realise the fruits of your labour in this life, but then again, you'll never know what you may have reached if you had grown weary, or how your life would have panned out. You don't, only God knows. But relative to what you perceive around you, we should still not grow weary. George Muller, anyone heard this guy? I bet Glennis has. Heard of George Muller? Glenn, you mentioned this channel. He's a great Victorian Christian evangelist and a social reformer. And he tells a story of persistent prayer in his diary. So I'll just read an excerpt from his diary. He's born in the 1800s. That's why it's Victorian. In November 1844, I began to pray for the conversion of 5 individuals. I prayed, this is him speaking, I prayed every day without a single intermission, whether sick or in health, on the land, on the sea, and whatever the pressure of my engagements might be. 18 months elapsed before the first of the 5 was converted. I thanked God and prayed on for the 5 others. 5 years elapsed and then the second was converted. I thanked God for the second and prayed on for the other 3. Day by day I continued to pray for them, and 6 years passed before the 3rd was converted. I thanked God for the 3 and went on praying for the other 2. These 2 remained unconverted. 36 years later, he wrote, this is just before he died, he wrote that the other 2, who were sons of Muller's friends, were still not converted. He wrote, but I hope in God, I pray on and look for the answer. They are not converted yet, but they will be. And in 1897, 52 years after we began to pray daily, without interruption for these 2 men, they were finally converted, but after he had died. So Muller understood what Jesus said in Luke 18 verse 1. It's a very long, another long verse. It says, and he, Jesus, let Beth catch up with Luke 18:1. Beth's going slow to make me look good. That's what you do. Luke 18:1 says, and he, that's Jesus, spake a parable unto them to this end, that men ought always to pray and not to faint. I've already started praying for my grandchild, my first grandchild, which was due in January. Please be a boy. Please be a boy. No, I'm not saying that. And in Isaiah 55 verse 11, it says, there's a slight tangent to this, but it sort of fits in. Isaiah 55:11 says, This is a verse that whenever you speak God's word to anybody, just if you remember this verse in the back of your head, it's very encouraging. It says, "So shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me vain, it won't be worthless. But it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereunto I sent it." So it's our job just to speak the words. God's job to, not his job, but God will let it do what it does, okay? But in today's world, everyone is busy. When Pastor I'm going on holiday, I knew he was going on holiday, he said, "Right, can you do a message?" I'm like, "No." And he's like, "It takes up so much time." Is that right, Bob? Will you not? So you're thinking, "Oh dear." But you just got to get on with it. So you ask me, Bob, we've probably grown weary of message prep. It's never quite right. But anyway, so you can. Everyone's super busy. So in today's world, everyone is busy with so many things distracting to eat up our time. And if you're a faithful Christian, the demands on your time escalate. You could be in church Sunday morning and evening. You could attend a prayer meeting each week. You could be here on Friday working in youth ministries. You could be baking cakes for coffee in the morning. You could be preparing Sunday school classes. You could be cleaning the church. You think, all those sort of jobs. But all these things that I think come under the title of well-doing and reasonable service. You just do what you normally do. Once I had a guy come in my shop. He was involved in a rugby club, like a rugby, a local club. And he was telling me about they were doing up there. Whatever building they have to meet him. What they call that? Anyway, when they meet, they change rooms or whatever. The meeting, and they were going down at weekends and night painting and all that sort of stuff. And I thought to myself, he's doing as much effort in a sense for something he enjoys as we would do at church here. So in a sense, I'm no better than him really. I'm not trying better, but if we come down here painting, I'm doing all these extra jobs. Even the unsaved today, they still get involved in volunteer work. So we might not be coming here enough, who knows? What we're up to now. But it's an easy thing to go worry as we seem to be living in a time when the world in general is becoming more and more godless each day at an accelerating rate. To our eyes, we don't see much fruit to our labours here at church, which can be, if we allow it, to be very disheartening. The Western moral standards have dropped more in the last 50 years. That's in my whole lifetime. We did the last. I put 500 years. I'll get probably 1,000 years, probably maybe 2,000 years. The UK now is we've now got a prime minister who is the first. I think the facts are right here. Correct me if I'm wrong. He's the first to take office with an unmarried partner, and apparently he's still married to his previous. Still not officially divorced, as far as I know. I'd say, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he's still officially married to his second wife. So we're a nation most definitely without an excuse. In Genesis 6:5, this is the verse Pastor quoted last week. Genesis 6:5 says, "And God saw the wickedness of men was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was evil continually." And verse 6 as well, but "And it repented the Lord that he made man on the earth, and it grieved him at his heart." We've almost come, I suspect, we've probably come full circle since those days. But fortunately, God is slow to anger and of great mercy. He doesn't give us what we deserve, and he's promised not to judge us with a flood. Psalms 103 verse 8, the Lord, Psalm 103 verse 8 says, fantastic. "The Lord is merciful and gracious, slow to anger and plenteous in mercy." And in Psalm 145 verse 8, it says a few times, it says, "The Lord is gracious and full of compassion, slow to anger and of great mercy." I've got two more, I'll give you two more. Okay, so you get this fact that God is merciful. Joel 2:13. Don't get that quoted too often. Joel 2:13. Old Testament back. And rend your heart and not your garments, and turn to the Lord your God, for he is gracious and merciful, slow to anger, and of great kindness, and repented from him of the evil. And in Nehemiah 9:17, this is more, you may have heard this is more familiar verse. Nehemiah 9:17. But thou art a God ready to pardon. I'm just halfway through. But thou art a God ready to pardon, gracious and merciful, slow to anger, and of great kindness. And in 2 Timothy chapter 3, we've got the first 5 verses. I'm sure that these verses have been, not wrongly, have been hammered from the pulpit many times over the past 30, 40, 50 years, because I think the world has spiraled down so much. It says, this know also, that in the last days perilous times shall come. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful and unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good, traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasure more than lovers of God, having a form of godliness but denying the power thereof, from such turn away. So you understand what those verses are saying. It's just describing exactly how our world is. I'm sure if the Lord waits another 10 years' time, those verses will mean even what will be read from many pulpits, I'm sure. But in the same chapter, in verse 14, for us in a sense, it says, but continue thou. It's actually Paul writing to Timothy, but it's certainly applicable to us. But continue thou in the things which thou hast learned and hast been assured of, knowing of whom thou hast learned them. And verse 17 of the same chapter, that the man of God may be perfect, thoroughly furnished unto all good works. So we just got to keep going on in our good works. Hebrews, passage we've been going through Hebrews, and in Hebrews 11 is a list of faithful men and women in the Old Testament who never grew weary, who were faithful to the end. And in Hebrews chapter 12, I planned what I was doing about a month ago, and then Pastor started doing Hebrews 12, and I'm thinking, oh no, he's not going to do what I mentioned what I'm going to say, but I don't think he has. We're going to get it twice again. So in Hebrews chapter 12, it sort of warns us against getting weary. It says, Hebrews 12 verse 1 says, wherefore, which means because of what chapter 11 has just said about the list of all the faithful patriarchs and God-fearing women. So because we see what they've done, okay, wherefore, seeing we also are compassed about with a great cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and the sin which doth so easily beset us, and let us run with patience the race that is set before us, looking unto Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and he sat down at the right hand of the throne of God. For consider him that endured such contradiction of sinners against himself, lest ye be wearied and faint in your minds. So he's just warning us not to, look unto Jesus. Don't look around you. If this church was selling windows, we would have shut down about 20 years ago. If we looked at on a sort of what we see as a success rate, but that's not how you look at it. You do what you do, and then God will sort the rest of it. In Hebrews chapter 12 and verse 12, Pastor mentioned these verses. This is going on from the first 3 verses. Wherefore, lift up the hands which hang down and the feeble knees. Sort of, I would say, get a grip sort of phrase. plodding on. In verse 13, and make straight paths for your feet, lest that which is lame be turned out of the way, but let it rather be healed. Pastor described those verses a lot better on Thursday night. So if you want to hear what he said, get on YouTube, you can tune in, and you can get a bit of far better discourse on those verses. But you get the sense of it. Just lift up the hands which hang down and the feeble knees. We most obviously need to make the best use of our time, choosing wisely how we spend it. Once time's gone, it's gone. All the cliches, I'm 53 now, and every year it gets faster and faster. Ask Bob, is he getting faster still? I don't. Yeah. So time just rattles by. So you've got to make the best of the time you have, for sure. Ephesians 5:15 and 16 says, see then that you walk circumspectly, not as fools but as wise, redeeming the time because the days are evil. Make the best use of the time you have. Don't waste it. Moses, who was one of the characters, the Bible characters mentioned in chapter 11 of Hebrews, he chose a life of well-doing. You all know his story. He spent his first 40 years living in the palace as a prince with Pharaoh. The next 40 years he lived the life of a shepherd on the backside of the desert. In his last 40 years he led the Israelites to the promised land. So in Hebrews 11 verse 24, I'll just read a few verses about Moses. So he gave up a lot, Moses, in a world sense. He was a prince in the world superpower of his day. He would have had whatever he wanted in those days. So Hebrews 11:24 says, by faith Moses, when he was come to years, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter, choosing rather to suffer affliction of the people of God than to enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season, esteeming the reproach of Christ greater riches than the treasures in Egypt, for he had respect unto the recompense of the reward. By faith he forsook Egypt, not fearing the wrath of the king, for he endured as seeing him who is invisible. So he spent his last 40 years leading the children of Israel. If you read the first 5 books of the Bible, you'll see that he was all the time the Israelites were whinging and whining and complaining all the time. He didn't have it. It wasn't like leading a nice bunch of people who weren't very encouraging. I don't think. Even his brother and sister confronted him about his choice of wife. So I'm sure he must have felt, why don't we leave a nice palace for this one? But anyway, he remained faithful to the end. But he himself didn't see the end to the promised land. He just saw it from afar. And he spent his we'd want to give it last 80 years of his life living in a tent, instead of a nice comfy bed. So that's I don't fancy that. We ourselves can cause others to grow weary. In Galatians 6, verse 1 to 3, it says, brethren, if a man be overtaken in a fault, ye which are spiritual, restore such a one in the spirit of meekness, considering thyself, lest thou also ye be tempted. And verse 2 says, bear ye one another's burdens, and so fulfill the law of Christ. So we can, verse 3 says, for if a man think himself to be something when he is nothing, he deceiveth himself. So we can all play a part in the people around us. Hebrews 10:24 says, we're to encourage other people to good works. And let us, Hebrews 10:24 says, and let us consider one another to provoke unto love and to good works. There's nothing wrong in showing your appreciation to others as they labour. But don't come up to me after all pat me on the back saying good job. But there's nothing wrong. Everyone enjoys to be, encouraged. No one likes to be criticised at all. Proverbs 27 verse 2 says, let another man praise thee, and not thine own mouth, a stranger and not thine own lips. And verse 30, the same book 31:28 says, chapter 31 verse 28, her children arise up and call her blessed, her husband also, and he praiseth her. And in chapter 15 verse 30, this is a good one, this one. It's the best of three. Proverbs 15:30, the light of the eye rejoiceth the heart, and a good report maketh the bones fat. So it's and in Proverbs 16 verse 15, he says, in the light of the king's countenance is life, and his favour is as the cloud of the latter rain. So it's good to encourage people. Make sure you yourself are not serving yourself and man, but you're serving God. Matthew 6:1 is a nice description of 6:1 to verse 4. It says, this is Jesus speaking. It says, take heed that you do not your alms, your good works before men. Okay, that's your motivation. No good. Take heed that you do not your alms before men to be seen of them, otherwise ye have no reward of your Father which is in heaven. Therefore, when thou doest thine alms, do not sound a trumpet before thee. Can you imagine that in truth? Blowing the trumpet, the guy behind, going to pray the synagogue. It's crazy. Therefore, when thou doest thine alms, do not sound a trumpet before thee, as the hypocrites do in the synagogues and in the streets, that they may have glory of men. Verily I say unto you, they have their reward. But when thou doest alms, let not thy left hand know what thy right hand doeth. Let thine alms may be in secret, and thy Father which seeth in secret himself shall reward thee openly. So you just check you're serving the Lord and not man in all you do. I've got a word here underlined that says in conclusion. In conclusion. I have no idea. How to time these things is always tricky. I don't know. So you should be out of good order, I'm sure. In conclusion, not growing weary in good works can and will be hard work at times, but that is the nature of labour, but will never be worthless. 1 Corinthians 13 says, verse 9, verse 9, 10 and 11, it says, for we are labourers together with God. Ye are God's husbandry, ye are God's building. According to the grace of God which is given unto me as a wise master builder, I have laid the foundation and another buildeth thereon. But let every man take heed how he buildeth thereupon. Take heed to what you do in your life. For other foundation can no man lay than that is laid, which is Jesus Christ. So in a sense, whilst good works and good deeds are good for everybody, if you're not saved, it serves, eternally has no value whatsoever. If you're not born again, because you don't get to heaven, you're not saved by good works, you're saved by faith, repentance and faith in the Lord Jesus Christ. But then, once you are saved, how you live your life will affect what your heaven will be like for you. Okay. 1 Corinthians verse 4. 1 Corinthians 4 verse 1 and 2. Let a man so account to us as of the ministers of Christ and stewards of the mysteries of God. And verse 2 is a well-known verse. Moreover, it is required in stewards that a man be found faithful. To be faithful in all you do. The church I used to go many years ago, there was a big church, the Church of England Church in Bolton. he announced that there's an old couple, no one knew this, there's an old couple, I can picture them now in mind. They faithfully cleaned the church for like 30, 40 years, this couple, and no one knew about it. So they'd obviously reached an age where they could no longer continue. So the church went into meltdown while they had to work out rotas for cleaning churches. No one had known about these two people. Well, obviously somebody, but people, the church generally, had never known that these two people had faithfully cleaned. They were probably quite humble, quiet people, but they'd served the Lord that way by faithfully cleaning, and no one seemed to know anything about it until they stopped doing it. Everyone found out. So, but they weren't serving man; they were serving the Lord Jesus Christ. So we'll just finally read the 1 Corinthians 15:58, which is very applicable to us once again. It says, "Therefore, my beloved brethren, be ye steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord. For as much as you know that your labour is not in vain in the Lord." So do not grow weary, keep on doing what you do, knowing you serve the Lord and you're not serving man. Let's close in prayer. Our Father in heaven, thank you, Lord, for your word this morning. Thank you, Lord, you are God who sees everything, even the smallest things we do, Lord. May we be in all our life. Everything we do may be to the glory of God, knowing we serve you.